Hi, it's Samantha with Lux Bodyworks, and today I'm going to talk to you about um, top 10 winter skin tips because in winter it is a good idea to change your skincare routine. And I'm not just talking about the face, I'm also talking about the body. So these are 10 tips kind of for natural beauty. I on my blog, I have a more in-depth article that goes into the skin science and the why it's good to change our skincare routines in winter. So I would definitely encourage you to read that. But this video is just about the 10 tips. So the first step is using a nourishing mask, right, for winter radiance. And these are the type of masks that you don't leave on your face and sleep with them at night. This is the type of mask that you would use, like say after you've cleansed your face. And you want to, and I was going to say not a type of mud mask necessarily because they tend to be more drawing, but you want to use something that's going to help with that the natural lipid biome right on your face. And using one of these, once a week or maybe 3 times a month, can really help provide some radiance and help not necessarily prevent, but prevent less sort of that pallid, dull appearance that our skin often gets in winter. And there's different types of masks. You know, you can do an oil, like an oil blended one that's primarily oil, or you could do one with certain extracts in it that are really going to benefit your skin. There's actually some cool food extracts that you can use right in a mask and let it sit on your skin for about 15 minutes and then, and then you clean it off. So that's number one. And number two is you want to go gentle on cleansing in winter. And this is because, right, that our inside air is dry and the outside air is just really cold. And so you don't want to use anything harsh or that's going to strip your skin of its natural oils. And I've said this a million times, our soaps are great for washing your skin, and that's why every package, right, our soap boxes say for face and body because they can be used for the face. Another great cleansing agent is micellar water. They've got a little bit of an oil base to them, and they're also another great gentle way for cleaning your skin. Tip number 3, wash in lukewarm water. And I'm not talking about tepid water where it's barely warm, but when you're talking about washing your hands, because hopefully you're washing your hands regularly, right? But when you're washing your hands and your face, they can get more dried out during winter, especially if you're a person that has to wash their hands a lot because of maybe the type of work that you do. So cooler water is better than really hot water, even though I know it's tempting in winter to want to take like a nice long hot shower, but those actually are detrimental to your skin. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, you want to give your lips some extra TLC. So in the winter time, right, the cold air and the dry air inside of our house can be really hard on lips. And then if you think about the lipstick that we wear, right, it's mostly petroleum based, got mineral oil in it. And mineral oil is only good for 2 things. Good for horses with colic and use on brakes. And maybe your cutting boards, right, for reconditioning them. But mineral oil should not find itself anywhere in your skincare routine. And so lipsticks also have hard waxes. So while they might be putting an occlusive layer on your lips and preventing moisture loss, they're not doing anything to help with actually moisturizing your lips or providing nutrients to your lips. So a great thing to use is a lip scrub, right? Because our skin, sometimes we get those little flaky peely things on our skin because it is more dry. And to use a lip scrub can help get rid of those, and lip scrubs will leave behind a nice moisturizing film right behind, and you want to follow it with a good lip balm. Just make sure that you're using some kind of a lip balm or chapstick that's not waxy, that's moisturizing, because it's about moisturizing your lips, not just putting on this occlusive layer that's not going to let any moisture out. Tip number 5, use hydrating face serums. Now in the winter, it's natural to tend to want to migrate to a heavier cream, right? Because it is winter and we know how easily that air, our environment that we're in, right? We can lose that moisture from our skin. So with a moisturizer, right, or I should say a face serum. With a face serum, you can choose, there's a variety of different types of serums. All serums does not mean anhydrous, without water. There are gel serums, there are cream serums, there are stick serums, so there's all kinds of different serums. It's just finding one like with active ingredients that are really good for your skin that you need during winter time, right, where you need that little extra TLC. So that's what you kind of want to do. And so this would complement your face moisturizer that you already use. So if you don't use a serum now and just use a moisturizer, then definitely you want to add one at this time of year. Okay, tip number 6, you want to combat dry interiors. So we have the heat on, which takes out the humidity in the air inside of our home. Now, you may have a humidifier attached to your furnace, which is, great, because then you can control how much humidity gets put into the air. If you don't have one of these humidifiers, it's a good idea to get some of those floor humidifiers, and maybe just put one in the main area where you spend most of the time. Maybe it's the family area or the common area. Definitely the bedroom would be one place to do one, because approximately a third of your time in a day, right, is spent in the bedroom. So that's something to look at, is just increasing that humidity in the air. Tip number 7, don't forget your feet. I know what you're thinking. It's like, oh my gosh, my feet are totally covered up in the winter. Yes, that's true. But what happens is when they get covered up, they kind of get forgot about. And they can develop calluses. They can develop, dry scaly areas. And so if you do a foot routine, just say even twice a month, where you do like a weekend where you just take a day on a weekend where you just spend some time looking at your feet, getting rid of any calluses, really moisturizing heels, the balls of the feet, maybe between the toes where stuff like that can kind of develop, and ensure that they're, well taken care of in the wintertime. By the time you get to summer, they are going to be ready for painted nails, toe rings, and ankle bracelets. Tip number 8, protect your hair. So we think about our hair mostly in the summertime, right? Because of salt, wind, it's being exposed to the sun. But hair during the winter kind of gets a whole different type of an assault because of the cold air outside and the dry air inside of our house. So you want to use a more gentler shampoo this time of year, just to make sure that you're not overstripping those oils on your scalp or your hair. And then the other thing I would consider is doing like a hair mask, right? Where you put a hair mask on like for 15 or 20 minutes and then you rinse it off. Maybe doing that, twice a month to really give your hair some extra love and attention during this time of year. Tip number 9. Remember that body care isn't only for the summer. So we think about our skin during the winter, right? It's just going to get more dry. And you have dry areas tend to get worse like on our skin, on our elbows, our knees, and like our shins. Any area where you maybe are scratchy or itchy is going to be an area where it's more than likely dry and flaky. So using extra lotion in those areas is really good. And going to like a heavier lotion, say like a body butter or a lotion stick or lotion balm to use like after you get out of the shower, right before you towel off and you've still got dew on your skin. You use that lotion stick and it helps trap that water so that it stays close to the skin. The other thing that you want to do as far as your body is concerned is use like a sugar or a salt type scrub, because they'll help exfoliate that skin, especially in those areas where it is more dry, right? And so that new skin, right, is more readily available to come to the surface with good regular exfoliation. You just don't want to over exfoliate in the winter. Now, the other product that you could use is a body polish. Body polishes tend to have finer particles in them, and so they're really good for the skin. And then they also leave behind an emollient film, if you will, on your skin, so that after you've used a body polish, your skin should just feel silky and smooth. And then follow it with like a body butter or a heavy lotion or like a lotion stick or balm. And then my last tip is you want to enjoy the great outdoors in the winter too. I love this time of year. Winter is my favorite time of year because there is not a shortage of things to do and play in the snow. So if you don't have a winter sport, think about taking one up. Skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, snowshoeing. Snowshoeing has a low-cost entry to it, and you can do it with friends, and you can do it safely. It's really fun, and if that doesn't interest you, then go out for some walks in the winter, because think about in the winter we move less. And so whenever we're moving, that means circulation. Things are moving, and that's good for our skin, because when things are circulating, right, that means oxygen is getting where it needs to get, and that means nutrients are getting where it needs to get. And those are all good things for the skin. So it's really good to stay moving even in winter. So those are my 10 tips for a natural winter skincare routine. Thank you very much for watching.